Edge at 11 starts now.
Using obituaries as a crime of opportunity.
Tonight, a lowlife behind bars accused of robbing families while they attend a loved one's funeral. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack joins us live with more on this heartless crime spree. Jessica, how did this thing work?
Well, it's too simple, and that's kind of the scary part. I'd heard over the years, like a lot of people, that this kind of scheme was a thing. Haven't reported on it until tonight. Now, the guy we're talking about, he would scour those obituaries, Google the name, and then he would strike. He'd spend times in these homes, and if you can believe it, he would actually take family keepsakes and heirlooms.
I can't think of anything lower to do than to victimize somebody when they're burying their loved one.
This is the face of the man who allegedly would do this kind of thing over and over again, all over.
Family valuables, family keepsakes, valuables, jewelry, that type of stuff, coins.
Not only did these families lose their loved ones while they're saying goodbye, the keepsakes were wiped out too.
He would go through local obituaries and he would look for when wakes were going on and when funerals were going on, and that would give him his moment of opportunity.
44-year-old Brian Ashley from Detroit would allegedly scour obituaries, then a quick Google search for an address. He'd case the place, then strike during the funerals, at least 3 times in Grosse Pointe Woods, again in neighboring Grosse Pointe, Ann Arbor, and Bloomfield Township.
Well, I don't know if we've learned everything that he's done yet.
The suspicion, he's been doing this for a while, up until they caught him this month. Ryan Ashley apparently struck one grieving family after another in Grosse Pointe Woods last month. Investigators started connecting the dots. Then some home surveillance footage caught him, and that broke the case wide open.
He was acting at a very high rate, so just to prevent other victims from suffering, it's good to get him off the street.
He's been charged with several counts of breaking and entering, being held on big bonds totaling $500,000 cash. As for the victims, only the family out of Ann Arbor got any of their keepsakes back. The rest was likely sold.
People do heinous things, and you know, it's unfortunate.
The concern now, because this is so easy, copycats. The investigators here at Grosse Pointe Woods PD say there are some things you can do. It's relatively simple fix if you are having services. See if a neighbor can keep an eye on the house, or a friend of a friend also. When a loved one passes, of course, you'll have a lot on your mind. One of those things should be to remove all the valuables, anything of importance to your family, get it out of the house and somewhere safe. Reporting live in Grosse Pointe Woods, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
Yeah, you can't help but ask, what does this world come to? And we have to think about this. But Jessica, we know this guy's connected to several cases now. What are police saying about possibly more victims here?
Well, you heard the chief there. He says, we don't even know this whole story quite yet. They've already caught him, believed to be in 4 jurisdictions, possibly more out there. I mean, really, all it takes is a quick Google search of obituaries in the area, and we're talking about thousands. So police here are asking if this sounds familiar. Maybe the MO is resonating with some folks. Call your police department and definitely give these guys a call here at Grosse Pointe Woods PD.
That's only a matter of time for the law or karma catches up with you and you do something like this during people's darkest hours. Jessica Dupnack for us live tonight. Thank you.
An update now to a story, recent one we saw you saw developing on The Edge. There will be no charges stemming from a road rage shooting in Sterling Heights. You may remember back on February 27th, a mother and daughter were hit by gunfire in the Carrabba's restaurant parking lot. The Macomb County Prosecutor's Office determined the female shooter acted in self-defense because she was assaulted by the woman. Now, the shooter has a valid concealed pistol license. The women who were shot are recovering from non-life-threatening injuries. We're told they will not face charges despite being the aggressors in this incident. Tonight, local author and columnist Mitch Albom is safe after being rescued from Haiti.
Fox 2 heard from Albom himself just a short time ago.
It was very, very fast, very, very hectic. like something out of a movie, but we were able to get out. But what's important to remember isn't just that we got out, it's that there's so many people there who are still there, Americans, Canadians, who are not getting the help that they need, particularly from their governments, and it should be thought of. And then what's most important is that our kids and other Haitians like them don't have an option to get out.
It's terribly sad. Congresswoman Lisa McClain confirms Album and 9 others were airlifted overnight. Album is the director of a Haitian orphanage. He was supposed to leave last weekend but ended up stranded amid the country's ongoing gang crisis. Album says he hopes to return to Haiti as soon as it's safe.
And a tragic story out of Harrison Township tonight. An elderly man dies in a mobile home fire.
Fox News' Dave Spencer learning more about the victim after talking with his friends.
This picture shows the cloud of smoke during a fire at the Harrison Court Mobile Home Park near Henry B. Joy Boulevard, just west of 94 in Harrison Township, Tuesday afternoon.
The smoke was so bad it just burned. It just got 2 breaths of it and you were just like, ugh.
Richard Moore lives directly next door. He said he first heard glass breaking and then saw his neighbor, a man in his 80s, trying desperately to save his burning home.
I seen him going in the side door and there was smoke rolling out, so I picked up my phone, started calling 911, ran outside.
The neighbor on the other side was Al Moore.
Couldn't get within 10 feet of the house. There was so much smoke and it was all coming out on that side. Yeah. You know, and that's the door that he went in.
While they waited for the fire department to arrive, they say things went from bad to worse.
Just before they got here, flames started shooting out of the roof, and then it just really went.
Yeah. They tell us all the while the victim would run in and bring out items on fire, fighting a losing battle.
He was in there for 10 minutes and I knew he was gone.
When the flames burned out, they both took stock of what was lost.
He was a really good guy. He was a good neighbor. He was a good friend. Yeah, it's just sad.
He's the kind of guy that leaves, come off the tree, he'd come over my yard and rake them up.
Very helpful, man. He'd see you out doing something, he'd come over, hey, you need some help? And he'd help you. He's actually, last Friday, he was out here helping me put some shelves in my shed I was building.
Fire investigators stayed at the scene for hours trying to pinpoint a cause. While the victim lived alone, firefighters say they're still in the process of notifying the family and are not naming him publicly at this time. Right now, there is a restoration crew on scene to secure the property. The firefighters tell me that the one unit was the only one damaged in the fire, and they're still working to determine an exact cause. In Harrison Township, Dave Spencer, on The Edge.
Well, more emotional testimony in the trial of James Crumbley, the father of the Oxford shooter.
Among those who took the stand, the lieutenant who found the shooter's journal.
Unfortunately, my dad does not want me to get the 9mm gun. I'm going to prison for life, and many people have about 1 day left to live.
Video of the shooting was played in court today. Many in the courtroom cried, including James Crumbley and the jury. Also shown was video from hours later when Crumbley was held in the back of a squad car and spoke alone with a detective.
Can you tell me where those guns are so you don't have to rip your house apart? Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. They're in a gun case.
Where at the house?
If you go into that back bedroom, there's a dresser on the left with the TV sitting on it.
Yep.
The very right cabinet door. Okay. Inside of there, there's a black gun case that's locked.
The prosecution has arrested, and tomorrow the defense will begin to make its case. It's not clear if James Crumbley will take the stand.
We have a number of people that we are talking to and looking at. I don't want to classify him as a person of interest yet. We're very concerned about some of the things that they may know about the case.
Detroit Police Chief James White giving us an update on the case of a missing 13-year-old girl. Today, a large scale search for Neziah Harris was done near 7 Mile and Telegraph using resources on the ground, in the water, and in the air. So far, there is still no sign of the teen, who has been missing for more than 2 months. Complicating the matter, many of Neziah family members have become quiet.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. They won't even talk to me now. That side of the family, they won't talk. Something is up.
I can't give you any explanation because I don't know any of these people besides her father, but it's just kind of weird. I haven't had any contact with anyone.
Now, there was another bizarre element to this case. Neziah's disappearance was first reported to Detroit Public Schools Police. DPD wasn't informed about the missing teen until several weeks later. We are getting closer to a rematch. Trump versus Biden, Part 2.
President Biden clinched the Democratic nomination with victories in Georgia and Mississippi today. Donald Trump was on pace to secure his party's nomination, despite serious political and practical liabilities of his own. Trump is the defendant in 4 felony cases. He also won Georgia and Mississippi, but was shy of the threshold needed to clinch the GOP nomination. Votes are still being collected across Washington state. And, well, we just are hearing right now he did. In fact, now we have learned that former President Donald Trump has clinched the GOP nomination.
Every second, we have breaking news and new information.
Keeping you up to date.
Well, this is keeping you up to date on what season it is. It's technically winter right now. I don't know if you know that, but spring is definitely in the air.
Not for long, Roop. We're manifesting spring, and it was beautiful out there today, and hopefully more tomorrow, Rich.
It is going to be nice again tomorrow, but technically we'll start spring next week, and it's going to be noticeably colder. You'll see that in the 7-day forecast. Today's daytime high, 69 degrees. Look at the record, 75. Tomorrow's record is 73. We have a shot at that, but certainly way above where we should be for this time of March. Right now, 57 Howe, 56 in Monroe, 60 still in Mount Clemens. There's Port Huron, 54 degrees. Take a look at the breeze. It's been around all day from the south and west. It'll continue tomorrow, but the numbers, the wind speeds will come down on Wednesday. The cold air, where is it? Well, it's bottled up in central and eastern Canada, a long way from us. There's 37 in Newberry, 62 right now, Chicago, 53 to our south in Columbus. Our next weather system is going to be a frontal boundary that drapes across the area Thursday. That'll bring some showers, perhaps a rumble of thunder, and then it's going to be a cooler pattern heading into the weekend. You'll see it in the 7-day. Comfortable tonight. We get down to 48. Tomorrow's another great looking day. Close to 70 degrees for some of us. Very pleasant afternoon. And then check out that 7-day. 58 with showers likely Thursday. Perhaps a lingering shower Friday. Cooler for the weekend. And then noticeably colder next week. Rup and Taryn will check it for you starting at 4 a.m.
Thanks, Reg.